non-believers.
How did that?
To all the non-believers, especially you, Tom Jackson. Way to have our back, Keyshawn. Anybody can be beat.
Hey guys, welcome back to Jets Fuel. It's been a minute. Haven't jumped on, made a video in a couple weeks. I'm sure I'm like a lot of you Jet fans where I wanted to take a little bit of time and decompress and reevaluate why the fuck we're Jet fans. But if you're anything like me, it's in our blood. It's something we can't help, and that's the unfortunate reality of it. My last video was like a season recap. Hope you guys caught it. If not, I'm gonna leave a link right up here. I don't know how these people do it. I'll try to figure out a way to put it up there. But yeah, the AFC NFC it was championship weekend this past weekend, and you see the Patriots advancing, and they're going to be going up against our former franchise quarterback in Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. I'm rooting like hell for Sam Darnold and Leonhard Williams that they can get the job done and beat the Patriots. Listen, there's nothing more gratifying than seeing those two former Jets go out there and spoil the Patriots season. In the same token, you got to give a lot of respect to the New England Patriots and what they've built in one year time. They went from 4-13 to 13-4 this year. So it's like we're in the midst of seeing another fucking Patriot dynasty starting to flourish before our fucking eyes. It was not enough that we had the Buffalo Bills and all the success they've had in recent years. Now we have to deal with the fucking Patriots and their shit now. But let's hope that Sam Darnold and Leonard Williams can wreak havoc in that game and make some big impacts and beat the Patriots. That's all I can hope for from this the Super Bowl coming up. But yeah, today I wanted to jump on and give you my three top candidates that I feel the Jets should be targeting to fill our defensive coordinator position that was formerly for fired Steve Wilks. This is imperative that we get this right. And, I've always been one to edge on the side of being a defensive-minded football player. And I always live by the phrase defense wins championships. And this year we saw a significant regress in our defense, in our players, in our production, the lack of interceptions, turnovers. We had 4 fucking turnovers the whole year. So we need to bring in a guy that can really change the culture, motivate these young guys. Whoever we're going to bring in through the draft, I'll get to that in a later point, a later video. I'm not going to jump to that right now. Free agents and existing players we have out there. It's imperative that we get this hire right. And this is he's going to be part of our franchise moving forward and build the culture the way that Aaron Glenn has been saying that he's going to be building since day one, and has yet to happen. So I'm going to give you my top 3 guys that I'm looking at. I'll give you my favorite of the bunch. I'm sure a lot of you guys will agree with it. But yeah, before we get into that, quickly, let's just talk about what's going on with the Jets right now. I was at the gym today, and I saw it come across my feed that the Jets are parting ways with our offensive coordinator, Tyler Engstrand. If you watch my season recap video, I called for this immediately. Why is he still around? Why did it take this long, 2-3 weeks, for us to figure out that he's not the answer moving forward for our offensive coordinator position? You saw our offense out there. It was one of the worst offensive teams in NFL history. Let's just be blunt about it. Why did it take that long to make that decision? This is typical Jets garbage that we're dealing with, and it happens all the time. if you even think back to Steve Wilkes and how bad our defense was playing, it took until weeks? I don't know what week it was, 13 or 14 or 15, where we actually fired him. Aaron Glenn, being a defensive player in this league for a long time, being a defensive coordinator in this league for a good amount of time, has a lot of experience. Why didn't he step in and take over? These are questions that I keep running through my mind, and it fucking aggravates me to no end that the kind of the way this organization is run is just fucking mind-boggling.
Did you just say mind-boggling?
Yeah, mind-boggling. You know, when things are so crazy, it gets your thoughts all trapped like in a bottle.
I don't understand why we have to wait until 3 weeks after the offseason into our offseason, where we're going to fucking fire the offensive coordinator. We're still have yet to fucking figure out who our defensive coordinator is going to be. But this all goes back to my main point. And I've been a big critic of Aaron Glenn for most of the season. I've never once said that I didn't want to see him get fired during the season or any of that stuff, or for him to fail or whatever. It's been quite the opposite with me. I've been patient. I've been optimistic that this guy could figure it out. And part of me still wants him to be able to figure it out. And it would be a great story if he can figure out how to be successful as a head coach in this league, particularly for our New York Jets. There's nothing more I would want to see than him to be successful and being the Jets head coach. But guess what? Listen, you had probably one of the best class of candidates for head coaches that came out in a long time. And the Jets decided, no, we're going to stick with Aaron Glenn, that went 4-13, that promised us the world, that gave us all these expectations about accountability, smart, tough play, and all this stuff. And none of that stuff came to fruition. You had a season that was a complete debacle. That we started 0-7, for God's sakes, and we finished the season 0-5. You didn't even think it was, with all the guys that came out that are still available, why not try to talk to them and make a move? Look what the Patriots did. Like I just mentioned before. I don't want to get too far off topic, but guess what? I was at the gym today, and shout out to Brewster Powerhouse. I don't know if anybody's in Putnam County area, best gym in the area, not even close. If you get a chance, stop by. The owner, real good dude. He'll show you around. And anyway, I was at the gym today, and I saw that we eventually fired our offensive coordinator, Engstrand. All these guys that we fired, we're at like 8 assistant coaches that have been fired by the New York Jets. Every single one of them was hired and brought in by Aaron Glenn. If somebody explained to me, you were the one that picked all these guys, handpicked every single one of these guys, and now they're all fucking gone, except for your special teams coaches. Isn't that a shocker that they're still around? Where's the accountability? There's zero accountability. And that's something that has disappointed me when it comes to Aaron Glenn's tenure with the New York Jets so far. And don't even get me started with Woody Johnson, because I've given up hope for that guy. So you had Aaron Glenn, he retains his job, but 8 of his assistant coaches get fucking booted. Now you wait 3 weeks into our offseason when you had some of the best candidates already out there as offensive coordinator. Particularly if you watch my last video, I mentioned Mike McDaniels. He was fired by the Miami Dolphins. And guess what? He takes a step down and goes back to being an offensive coordinator for the Chargers. This was some guy that you could have brought in that could have made immediate impact on the offensive side of the football. Obviously, we don't know if he would have took the job. But guess what? It was available for you to make that option and to throw some money at him and try to bring him in. But the Jets don't do that. They wait and they just make you fucking want to pull your fucking hair out or get more gray hairs like every other fucking season. So, listen, we're in the predicament that we're in because this is a fucking this is like we're just mentally unstable as a fucking organization. We don't know what the fuck we're doing, and it just keeps showing itself time after time after time. But listen, I'm going to try to be positive here. Obviously, we know we're moving into this next season with Aaron Glenn as the head coach. We're going to have a new offensive coordinator, obviously, and a new defensive coordinator. A whole new look to the team, pretty much. And let's see if they can right this ship like they always talk about. He's talking about a big ship takes a long time to turn. Listen, man, you better start turning that motherfucker quick. Look what the fucking Patriots did. Like I said, went from 4-13. That coach didn't make it. Mayo, they didn't fuck with it. Guess what? In one season, they booted him and brought in Vrabel. And now look at them. So it's possible. It's possible. I'm just so sick of looking at media and the Jets being the fucking joke of every fucking of every football discussion. It's even made its way into your normal daily life. Whenever something negative pops up, you can always refer to it as the fucking Jets. So I'm getting so sick of this narrative, and it's time for them to start changing this shit around. I'm just still annoyed because I'll get into my top 3 list, but I'm getting more and more agitated with how this fucking organization operates on a day-to-day basis, and it makes you fucking really wonder: do they have the right guys in place to change this, to turn this fucking ship around? Like I referred to this is not a fucking big ship turning. This is turning to the fucking poop cruise. But anyway, let's get into this. First, I'm going to leave my favorite for last. I'm sure it's probably a lot of your guys. But first and foremost, an outlier to this whole defensive coordinator, and I'll throw in a bonus guy that I would love to see. Bring back Rex. Bring back Rex Ryan. If you can, the guy loves this team with all of his fucking heart. He wanted to be the head coach last year. You should have brought him back as a fucking head coach last year. This guy will still listen to you if you bring him in and say, listen, we want you to be the defensive coordinator for the New York Jets. I guarantee you he would at least listen to you and give you the time and day. You don't hear his name popping up at all. I don't know why the fuck Woody Johnson and Muji and Aaron Glenn, what the fuck their problems are, but if you want to bring in a credible, proven defensive coordinator in this league, you talk to fucking Rex Ryan. And automatically you'll get a fucking positive, a check mark from the fan base, because the fan base love that guy. So he's one guy that they should at least be having some type of conversations with. I already hear him linked to the Buffalo Bills. Look what, and I'll get into this later, but look what's going on within our division. These guys are going to steal one of these candidates because obviously, look, the Jets organization is a fucking joke. Now you have guys that are going to be wanting to go play for a different team when their loyalty lies with the Jets. Because the Jets think they know it all. They're too fucking good for their own fucking good, and they won't bring in these guys and humble themselves and ask them. It just fucking annoys the hell out of me. My first guy on the list. Probably a guy that's not as well known, but I love his style of defensive football. Love his mindset. It's DeMarcus Covington. And listen, DeMarcus Covington right now is the defensive line coach for the Green Bay Packers. You see how successful they were. He's also the run game coordinator for them. Listen, the guy has had some success in the league. He was a defensive coordinator for the New England Patriots in 2024. He didn't have much success as being a defensive coordinator in that position, but listen, he's a young dude born in 1989. He's very young in the game. Played football at Stanford University as a wide receiver. Look, he has a lot of coaching experience too. He began coaching for UAB, Ole Miss, UT Martin, Eastern Illinois before joining the New England Patriots as the their defensive line coach, and then he was promoted to the defensive coordinator. Right now, obviously, like I just said, he's the defensive line coach for the Green Bay Packers. Listen, he's a trench guy. He believes wholeheartedly in stopping the run and dominating the line of scrimmage. And that's a guy that I love. And that mindset right there, I love it. So he's one guy I want you guys to keep an eye out for. Obviously, he hasn't had the most success in the league, especially when he was a defensive coordinator for the New England Patriots. I think they were among the bottom in the league, in overall defense. But listen, you see what he's done with the Green Bay Packers and that defensive unit, that defensive line in particular. Guys like these young guys that can come in that know how to attack this new modern NFL offenses. These are guys you got to look at, because the NFL has changed so much decade to decade, and he'll be a guy that can quickly adapt to this new modern offenses that are getting thrown out there every week by week. And also, he's another guy that is familiar with the AFC East. That's a bonus for us. Like I said, he's young, energetic, and he has a good amount of assistant coaching experience. But like one other thing I will mention is that I just alluded to before, he was underwhelming in his debut as a defensive coordinator for the New England Patriots. But he's number 3rd on my list. Figure I'd throw that out. Number 2, obviously this guy's been getting a lot of attention right now, especially through Jets, social and media. It's number 2 is Wink Martindale, the defensive coordinator for the University of Michigan. Listen, if you want an old school coach, old school mentality, this is the guy you want to bring in. He's got over 2 decades of experience in the NFL. Been a defensive coordinator multiple times. What he's most known for is his stint with the Baltimore Ravens, where he displayed a top defense in the league year in and year out. And then after that, following that, he got a stint with the New York Giants as their defensive coordinator, and it didn't go that well with the Giants. So it gives you kind of like a mixed bag of feelings in regards to what he could produce at the end, for the New York Jets as a defensive coordinator. But I already saw that they're bringing him in for a second interview. Like I said, he was a Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator from 2018 to 2021. And then he went to New York Giants defensive coordinator position from 2022 to 2023. And currently is with the University of Michigan. He, like I said before, he has a great amount of experience. Is well established within the NFL as a defensive coordinator. He's known for his aggressive blitzing, old school mentality. Kind of reminds me a lot of Rex Ryan run defense and that old school mentality. Listen, that's the knock that they've given this guy, is that he struggles against these new modern NFL offenses. But I don't believe in that. He believes in the defense dictating what the offense is going to do. I believe in that wholeheartedly. Let that defense go out there, establish themselves, and set the tone for the game, and let them dictate where the game goes. And that's the type of defensive coordinator is. You just sum it up. He's old school. That's it. But you saw his stint with the fucking Giants didn't go too well, and people have labeled him that he hasn't been able to adapt to these new modern offensive trends that have been exploding all over the NFL. And then 3rd, and my favorite, and I'm sure it's a lot of everybody else. Listen, please, Aaron Glenn, Darren Muji, Woody Johnson, I don't care what you have to do, and it should have been done during the first interview. You shouldn't have allowed him to walk out of the building without hiring Jim Leonhard. Jim Leonhard needs to be our defensive coordinator. I don't care what you have to do, how much money you got to throw at him. Do it, and do it quickly. Another guy, like I just said, that Rex Ryan's already linked to the Buffalo Bills as their defensive coordinator. Guess who's also just popped up in the headlines about being linked to the Buffalo Bills? Jim Leonhard. So do yourself your due diligence and get on the fucking phone, get him back in a room and offer him whatever the fuck he wants to get him in to secure him as our new defensive coordinator. That's it. These two other candidates are not even close in regards to what I feel is the best available candidate. Jim Leonhard needs to be brought in and it needs to be done immediately. We all know right now Jim Leonhard is the defensive back coach he's a defensive back coach for the Denver Broncos, and look how good that defense has been. Look at what he's done with a guy like Surtain. It speaks for itself. He's also, to mention, let's put a good asterisk right next to that. He's the assistant head coach for the Denver Broncos. So guess what? If Aaron Glenn shits the bed again and he goes 0-5, 0-6, or whatever, guess who could step right in there and be the interim head coach? And maybe you could look to him to be the future head coach. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. But the little thing, let's talk about Jim Leonhard a little bit. Obviously, he has a wealth of experience in playing in the NFL. 10 seasons with in the NFL. Played for the Buffalo Bills, Baltimore Ravens, our New York Jets under Rex Ryan, and our back-to-back AFC Championship runs. Broncos, Saints, and Browns. Listen, he was a very well respected safety in this league for a long time. Like I said, he started his his coaching experience at the University of Wisconsin, where he was the defensive backs coach, and then quickly he got moved into the defensive coordinator position, where he excelled. They had a top 3 defense under him as a defensive coordinator. Then he even was an interim head coach for a short while in 2022 for the University of Wisconsin. Then he went on to be in 2023 senior analysis at Illinois, then joined the Denver Broncos in 2024 to right now present. I just can't emphasize enough that we need this organization. Woody Johnson, Aaron Glenn, Darren Muji. You can throw all these other guys in the fucking garbage. Bring in Jim Leonhard and let's stop the bullshit. This guy is well apt in how to defend these new modern offenses. And that's what you want to see. You saw what he was able to do with the defense, with the Denver Broncos, and how well they played. Look at you can't throw against them. You can't run against them. They're just an overall great defense, and he's a big part of that. And like I alluded to before, at Wisconsin, he was a top 5 in total defense and scoring defense for multiple seasons. 2024, Denver defense was 6th fewest passing touchdowns allowed. Listen, it's a no-brainer when you think about it. But this is somewhere where I already see it. I already see it clear as day what's going on. He's not going to. They're not going after him. Why have you not brought him in for a second interview? Listen, man, I'm getting fed up with. I'm just going to say I'm getting fed up with Aaron Glenn, and I hope he proves me wrong. And I say people are going to fucking hate on me for saying it, but listen. You got to bring in quality people, man. Quality, proven, established people. And now we have another major hole in as an offense with the offensive coordinator position. It's going to be really interesting to see who they bring in to fill both of these roles and how they fit and gel with Aaron Glenn. All I'm saying is that obviously Jim Leonhard doesn't have any defensive coordinator experience at the NFL level. But listen, I'll take the upside and the talent and I'll take the risk to reward no matter what when it comes to this dude. I loved him as a New York Jet as a safety for us. I love to see how he's excelled in being a coach at the college level up through now the NFL level. Give him a shot. Give him a bag of money. Bring this guy in and let him change the culture of our defense right around. That's all I got to say about that. Listen, he's my guy. He's the guy that I want, and that's the guy that needs to be brought in immediately. But like everything else with the Jets, we know that they're going to do whatever the fuck they want, and it's going to make you scratch your head and be like, what the hell is going on here? So, listen, share your comments and thoughts on who you guys want to see. Let me know. What do you feel about these three guys that I've mentioned? And give me your thoughts and feelings on who you are who is a priority for you for our defensive coordinator. Next week, I'm going to start diving into the offensive coordinator situation to see who's available. I know already off the top of my head, they're already talking about Frank Reich being that emerging as the top candidate already, even though I don't know how the fuck that is. It just happened. Tyler Angstrom just got fucking fired hours ago. But anyway, yeah, share your comments and thoughts in the fucking comments. Fucking dumb. And as always, go Jets.